Fanny is an extraordinarily meticulous artist. She works slowly. She does not plan things on a monumental scale. She begins with small drawings, and fortunately we were able to get 25 very small-scale preliminary drawings to show the public something, or to suggest rather, something about her working methods. And they will be little tiny drawings in a showcase, in a case in the second gallery. In the Americas Society, there are 3 galleries. There is a fairly small introductory gallery where the visitor will see some of the most outstanding paintings. Actually, some of the paintings in the introductory gallery are more recent. There is a large second and a large third gallery where we are able to present the work in more of a chronological sequence. And I must say the light in the galleries is very beautiful because there are a number of windows in all 3 galleries that look out onto Park Avenue and to 68th Street. So there's a lot of natural light as well as the gallery light. The second phase that the visitor will see in the second large gallery of Americas Society is a series of these transitional pictures in which you see somewhat, I could almost describe them as biomorphic images. In other words, they're large areas of color that are not using straight lines. They're irregular lines. They look sometimes like clouds of yellow or blue or green. She often works beginning with these small drawings, which often on the back have indications of the ultimate size that she might be thinking about. And not every drawing translates into a larger painting. And also between the small studies and the monumental paintings are several different layers of artistic activity, let's say. So she does the drawings in pencil, sometimes in watercolor. We see larger compositions. We ultimately have sometimes monumental, very large paintings. Another thing I wanted to mention about process is that when Fanny began to do abstract art, she was principally working with oils, following the lead of other artists who had come before her working with oils and abstraction. And of course, the use of oil paint creates a certain texture on the surface of the canvas. And then she began to think, when she decided to do these much more structured images, shapes, she wanted things to be flat. She didn't want to have a surface that had a life of its own. She wanted to have a surface that was very unarticulated. No business, no stuff going on the surface. And she found that acrylic paint was what she needed to have that effect. So in her work in the 70s, she started using acrylic, and that was a very big leap. She begins to experiment with what will become her characteristic format, which is straight lines, and sometimes they're intersecting, sometimes they're parallel, almost like stripes. And they're straight lines, and actually behind me, there is one of those works from the 70s. We are now sitting in gallery number 3, in which we have examples of that work from the 70s and work that goes into the present day, because she's still very much a practicing artist and gets up every day and thinks about what she's going to do. So she continues to experiment and create pictures which, although Fanny would not agree with this, they look sometimes like architecture. Fanny has been in many exhibitions, not only in her native Colombia, but also here in the United States and in Europe. But there has never been an exhibition in the US or in New York, where she's lived for all of these years, that covers, even in a reduced way, the entire career. I was very interested in having such a show for Fanny. Whether I organized it or somebody else organized it, I didn't care, but I just wanted it to happen. I spoke with Aimee Iglesias Lucan, and she was very receptive to the idea of a solo show for Fanny. It shows the visitor if not a complete picture, a very good sampling of all of the time periods and all of the options that she has tried out. The great strength of our show is painting. Of course, it's very difficult to choose from the work of an artist who is very prolific. It was a matter of knowing the work. We could switch out one excellent painting for another excellent painting.
This exhibition of Fanny Sanin is part of our Woman Artists exhibition. Every spring, summer, we feature an artist from the Americas that identifies as a female that has been previously overlooked. By that, we mean artists that had never had a solo show in an institution in New York or many times in the US. Many of them have never had a book. In the case of Fanny Sanin, she is a pioneer of geometric abstraction in the Americas.
The fact that Fanny Sanin is showing in what is really a place that I like to think of as an intellectual laboratory for artistic experimentation and viewing is very significant. And so, in a sense, she's come home with this show to the galleries of the Americas Society because she was included in other exhibitions long ago. And so she has this long relationship with the Americas Society. It's a place of great, I think, cultural foment for New York City.